In this video, I'm going to discuss a question that I get pretty often, and that is, do you need your manager's or administrator's certificate or license in order to start your residential assisted living or behavioral health facility, or if you need any type of healthcare experience, and what the differences are in being able to get these and the benefits of it. And I know I've discussed this, but oftentimes I do get this, so if you're interested, make sure to stick around. What is going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serge. Welcome to the channel. To all my reoccurring viewers, thank you so much for all the love and support that each and every single one of you have shown me. If you have not yet, make sure to go check out the God Made podcast on most streaming platforms. Also, feel free to go check out Legion Assisted Living Academy on Facebook, and you can join that group. We have over 3,400 members in there. Also, feel free to go check out legionassistedlivingacademy.com, where I teach how to start your own residential assisted living facility from A to Z. Also, you can book a one-on-one mentorship call as well in the link below. You can also join my subscription-based platform where I started my own account on Patreon, and that is where I actually meet and discuss and analyze deals with my members on there. So you can actually go and subscribe for $10 a month. So feel free to check out that link down in the description as well. Also, if you have not yet, make sure to check out ALF Ventures.com if you're a limited partner looking to passively invest in this industry and this niche specifically. Also, if you're an operator looking to expand or sell your facility potentially, make sure to check out ALFVentures.com. Or if you're an individual who's looking for a loved one in the Phoenix metro area or know of anyone who is needing this assistance and needing help with this, make sure to reach us out on ALFVentures.com as well. We have a form there that they can fill out. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this video. Now, I get this question asked pretty much on a daily basis, and that is, do I need healthcare experience, and do I need to go get my manager's certification or administrator's license before going and getting my own facility or licensing my own facility? And the simple answer to this is no, you do not. You do not need healthcare experience to get started in this industry, and you also do not need your manager's or administrator's license to be able to get started as well. And do I recommend this? Oftentimes I do not recommend this, and I know a lot of people seem to go down the route of not having to do this. A lot of people don't end up doing this simply because they don't want to have to go back and get the hours necessary to be able to become a manager or administrator in this specific field or in this niche to be able to go license their own facility. And so oftentimes that is what's required in order to get this certification or this license in order to be your own manager or administrator. Typically, you need a few thousand hours. In the state of Arizona, what's required to get your own manager certification in order to be able to manage your own homes is 2,080 hours of healthcare experience. And that could just be healthcare in general. It doesn't necessarily need to be a nurse or a CNA or a caregiver or a doctor, whatever. Just healthcare in general. You could be a phlebotomist, and as long as you have those hours, you would qualify. Now, other states like Nevada require you to have at least 6 months of healthcare experience. And so whatever that amounts to in hours, that's what you'll need. And so a lot of people choose not to do this because of the fact that they need to go back and get those hours or that experience. Now, do I recommend that people go do this? Like I said, I do not. The reason being is because it's not smart to necessarily start something without having the experience. So what I see pretty often is that you have people or individuals who have the business background, have the business experience, but have no experience whatsoever on what it takes to pass medications, what it takes to chart, what it takes to actually take vital signs, all these different things that you need to do in order to properly know how to run this business. Now, what a lot of people who don't have that experience do is hire individuals who have that experience, right? They'll hire the managers, the administrators, etc. And like I've always mentioned, it's okay to do that, and that's the smart thing to do once you get a good grasp and understanding of this business and a good handle on it. And most people don't have that, though. What happens is they rely very, very heavily on their managers from the very beginning. As soon as they take over something that's existing or they're starting from scratch, whatever the case may be, they rely very heavily on that individual. What other people decide to do who don't want to go get that healthcare experience but have the business background is they'll just hire somebody in order to have their certification or license in the facility, but they do all the hands-on things, the day-to-day operations themselves, and just pay that individual for their credentials essentially. Now, is that recommended for the manager and the administrator? Oftentimes, it depends. It really depends on the individual and the owner themselves and how hands-on are they really gonna be. Are they gonna be there, on a daily basis and like they should be? Also, are they going to just kind of put everything on their lead caregiver and rely on the caregiver to really do all the documentation? So there's a lot of different variables and factors and different ways of doing this business and operating this business. But the reality is, you as the owner, you as the operator should really understand how this all works. And so my recommendation is that the owner should be, for the most part, the day-on-day person who handles all of this. If they're not going to be the day-on-day, they should go at least become a manager or an administrator, understands the inner workings of what they need to do on a day-to-day basis, and hire somebody else to do those day-to-days. Another way is, like I said, the owner operator can go become the manager and administrator, pass all their certification, all their tests, and then leave their certification or license there and train somebody under them as like an assistant manager or an assistant administrator who can handle to day to day, and they can focus on working on their business and not in their business. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. It's not like you necessarily need to have all this background in healthcare and all this background in business. When I first started out, I had the healthcare background, but I did not have the business background. And typically you see the opposite. And so for me, having this healthcare background, all the tests, all that stuff wasn't necessarily hard for me to go get because I had all the experience. I could go get my manager certification. After I got my manager certification, I was my own manager and I was doing the day-to-day things. And then eventually I kind of stepped away, trained my lead caregiver to essentially be also like my assistant manager, and they were responsible for my other caregivers. And so they handled a lot of the day-to-day stuff. I would come in, verify all the paperwork, make sure everything was being properly documented, making sure that the families were being taken care of properly, and I would just kind of focus on a high level. But that was later on in the process. In the beginning, I did essentially everything until I brought on staff. I would do everything from the manager's position. I would do everything from the caregiving position. So I really learned the ins and outs of the operations of, at least for me, and eventually at that point, I delegated a lot of those tasks to individuals who could handle them, and I could just focus on my business. And so that is another way to really do it. And even though I had that healthcare experience, that ultimately gave me the confidence that I knew I could run this type of business and operate this type of business. Now, a lot of people get scared when they don't have that healthcare experience, and that's completely understandable because there's a lot of things that come up along the way, certain diagnoses, certain medications, certain things that you may not fully comprehend or fully understand without that training, without that experience. But again, you can delegate and hire those individuals, whether it's a nurse that comes in, once or twice a week, whatever the case may be, to verify all the medications, to make sure all the orders are put in properly. So there's a lot of different ways you can make sure that your business is being operated properly. And again, you do not need experience in healthcare to start this business. You do not need to go become your own manager or administrator. I'm just laying this out because a lot of people seem to think that that's the case, but it is not. It definitely and certainly does help to be able to have that experience. But again, if you could delegate and hire the proper individuals to help you operate your business, then you're going to do really well. And so with that being said, I hope that answers a lot of your questions. Look into your state, see what the requirements are. Each state typically does require there to be a manager or an administrator on each facility to be able to properly operate, because those are going to be the individuals responsible for the day-to-day operations. So with that being said, make sure again to check out the links down below. Feel free to join my Patreon. Feel free to check out legionassistedlivingacademy.com. Feel free to also check out ALF Ventures.com. And like I said, if you're a limited partner looking to passively invest in this niche, or you're an operator looking to sell or expand your operations, feel free to check us out. And also, if you're looking to place a loved one or know of anybody that's looking to place a loved one in the Phoenix metro area, again, you could check out ALFVentures.com. And with all that being said, I will talk to you all in the next one. God bless.